Balance scale, emoji meaning. The balance scale emoji represents justice, fairness, and law, as it symbolizes the scales of justice used in courts and legal systems. Common uses include referring to law courts or legal matters, for example, studying for my law exam, symbolizing fairness, balance, or weighing options, for example, trying to make the right decision, or representing the zodiac sign Libra, which is associated with balance and harmony. For example, Libra season is here. It's often used in legal, ethical, or decision-making discussions. Ballet shoes, emoji meaning. The ballet shoes emoji represents ballet, dance, and elegance. It is commonly associated with performing arts, grace, and discipline. Common uses include talking about ballet or dance performances, for example, excited for my ballet recital, expressing grace, elegance, or poise, for example, dancing through life with style, or symbolizing hard work and dedication, as ballet requires years of practice, for example, practice makes perfect. It can also be used in a playful or aesthetic way to represent beauty, art, or movement. Balloon, emoji meaning. The balloon emoji represents celebration, joy, and fun. It is commonly associated with parties, birthdays, and festive occasions. Common uses include celebrating events like birthdays or anniversaries, for example, happy birthday, expressing happiness, excitement, or lightheartedness, for example, feeling so happy today, or symbolizing childhood, nostalgia, or playfulness, for example, brings back childhood memories. It can also represent letting go or floating away, both literally and metaphorically, such as moving on from something. Ballot box with ballot, emoji meaning. The ballot box with ballot emoji represents voting, elections, and democracy. It is commonly associated with casting votes, political discussions, and civic engagement. Common uses include encouraging people to vote, for example, don't forget to vote, talking about elections or political events, for example, big election coming up, or symbolizing making choices or decisions, for example, tough choice to make. It is often used in political, governmental, or decision-making contexts to emphasize the importance of voting and having a voice. Banana, emoji meaning. The banana emoji represents the fruit banana, often associated with health, nutrition, and tropical vibes. It can also have playful or humorous meanings. Common uses include talking about food, snacks, or healthy eating, for example, starting my day with a banana smoothie, referencing tropical or summer vibes, for example, vacation mode on, or playfully symbolizing something silly or goofy, as bananas are linked to slapstick comedy, for example, that joke was bananas. In some contexts, it can also have suggestive or humorous meanings depending on the conversation. Banjo, emoji meaning. The banjo emoji represents the banjo, a stringed musical instrument often associated with folk country and bluegrass music. Common uses include talking about music, especially folk or country genres, for example, love a good bluegrass tune, referring to playing an instrument or live performances, for example, jamming on my banjo tonight, or symbolizing rural or southern culture, as the banjo is often linked to traditional American and Appalachian music, for example, feeling that country vibe. It can also be used playfully to represent rustic charm, storytelling, or good old-fashioned fun. Bank, emoji meaning. The bank emoji represents a financial institution, money, or banking services. It is commonly associated with banks, finance, savings, and transactions. Common uses include talking about money, banking, or finances, for example, got to deposit my paycheck, referring to financial institutions or business matters, for example, meeting at the bank today, or symbolizing wealth, investments, or savings, for example, trying to save up. It can also be used humorously to mean getting rich or making money, for example, making bank this month. Bar chart, emoji meaning. The bar chart emoji represents data, statistics, analysis, and business reports. It is commonly associated with finance presentations and tracking progress. Common uses include talking about business, sales, or financial growth, for example, quarterly profits are up, referring to data analysis or research, for example, analyzing some trends today, or tracking progress or goals, for example, making gains at the gym. It's often used in work, school, or financial discussions to symbolize insights, trends, or performance tracking. Barber pole, emoji meaning. The barber pole emoji represents a barber shop traditionally associated with haircuts, grooming, and shaving services. The red, white, and blue stripes on the pole symbolize the historical connection between barbers and medical procedures. Common uses include talking about getting a haircut or grooming, for example, time for a fresh cut, referring to barber shops or hairstyling, for example, best barber in town, or symbolizing classic or vintage barber culture. It is often used by barbers, hairstylists, and customers to indicate grooming services or a trip to the barber shop. Baseball, emoji meaning. The baseball emoji represents the sport of baseball, as well as themes of teamwork, competition, and outdoor fun. Common uses include talking about baseball games or teams, for example, game day, let's go, referring to playing sports or being active, for example, let's hit the field, or symbolizing American culture, as baseball is often called America's pastime. It can also be used metaphorically, such as throwing a curveball, meaning an unexpected event, or hitting it out of the park, meaning great success.
Shake us.